What comes to your mind when you think of luxury automotives? It's more than likely going to be something like the Mercedes-Benz S-Class or the BMW 7 Series. But what if I tell you we have a luxury scooter in our midst? Because with its 10.4 lakh ex-showroom price tag, I don't know what other category it falls in. Welcome to our first ride review of the BMW C400GT, in which we're going to try and make sense of what this scooter is and who exactly it is meant for. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, share this video with like-minded enthusiasts, click that bell icon to stay notified on all things thrill of riding, and subscribe to the Evo India channel. Now the BMW C400GT is a proper out-and-out maxi scooter, and to those credentials you have a big 15-inch front wheel that wears a 120 section tire, a massive 14-inch rear wheel that wears a chunky 150 section tire. You have a big fairing with a nice LED headlight setup and LED indicators and a nice tall windscreen, all that check the right boxes for the maxi sport scooter setup. Behind that you have this nice wide handlebar, in front of which is a massive 6.5-inch color TFT display, similar to that on the Big Daddy, the R1250 GS. Then you have this 12.8-liter floorboard placed fuel tank. This also helps with the center of gravity, and this fuel tank should give you around 350 kilometers of riding range, and 350 kilometers you can do in ease. This is considering this has extremely relaxed ergos, with the footwell being you can either keep your feet in the regular riding position or you can keep them up in a cruiser position. And then there is this seat. It is extremely wide, extremely roomy and accommodating for all sorts of riders. Almost feels like a throne, and you will have no stress taking a pillion along, considering the seat is extremely comfortable as well. Now for the party piece of this C400GT, it's storage space. You have two cubby holes over here which are activated by these buttons. Now you can keep your keys, your wallet and whatever you want in one side, and this side also has a charging port, and it will swallow any large phone. Now this here is a pretty big phone and it fits without stress. And when it comes to storage, you also have this massive boot which opens with a hydraulic damper. This boot can accommodate a full face XL helmet, courtesy of this, what BMW calls the flex case. This flex case is a fabric case sort of thing that extends when you click this button, and this can swallow a full helmet without stress. And that's not the only storage space here. You also have some space ahead to keep a smaller helmet, a water bottle or whatever else it is that you would want to keep. Now coming to the rear also is substantial, and it looks wide because of this nice tail light and the big tire like I spoke about. In terms of dimensions, this is a large scooter. In fact, the wheelbase is longer than the GS even, and it also tips the scales at 214 kilos fully fueled. Alright, now let's get into the performance of the C400GT, because after all, it is the most powerful scooter sold in India right now. It is powered by a 350cc single-cylinder water-cooled engine that puts out roughly 33.5 bhp and 35 Nm of torque. In terms of power figures, it is nearly identical to that of the G310R, but it does make more torque. All of those numbers translate into a quick scooter, and that is despite its daunting dimensions. It goes up to 100 km/h with no stress whatsoever. BMW claims that it gets there in around 10 seconds, and I think I can attest to that fact. It also accelerates to a claimed top speed of 139 km/h, but post 110-120 you start feeling a bit of strain. Comfortable cruising is around 100-110 km/h, and you still have enough headway to make quick overtakes at that point. And like I said, since you have no gearbox, when you're out in the twisties like we are, you don't need to worry about making shifts before or after entering and exiting a corner. So that is great. Right, now let's talk about how this scooter handles. As you can see, it is a large scooter. If you keep an Aerox next to it, I'm pretty sure it will dwarf it by a significant margin. It's got a 1565mm wheelbase, which is quite a bit more than the GS even, and you know how large the GS is. But despite all of that, and despite the fact that it weighs 214 kilos, it feels extremely nimble. That is once you get going. It is a little cumbersome to manage when you're at slow speeds or at a standstill. Obviously, it does weigh 214 kilos, but once you get going, it hides its weight extremely well. And what surprised me the most is how well it handles in the twisties. You can tip it into a corner, get it out of a corner without any stress. It goes in with comfort, comes out with comfort, all while feeling extremely stable and planted. This is also down to the wheel setup. You get a 15-inch wheel at the front and a 14-inch wheel at the rear with tires sourced from Pirelli. And these tires are extremely sticky and you don't really lose your traction or your confidence even when the surfaces become uneven. Speaking of the ride quality, you have 35mm forks up front and twin shock absorbers at the rear. The ride is fairly stiff at slower speeds, but once you pick up the pace, the scooter starts to iron out all the undulations pretty well. Though the larger bumps and potholes do still translate, but nothing that is extremely bothersome. In terms of brakes, you have 4-piston J1 calipers in the front, mounted on twin discs, and a single disc brake at the rear as well, both with ABS. Braking performance is extremely sharp. You have a lot of bite, a lot of feedback, and it's extremely easy to modulate that as well. And considering this scooter is this heavy and it can do some serious speeds, it's nice to know you have such a good braking system on tap. In terms of equipment, you get a 6.5-inch color TFT display and a multi-controller unit, both of which are similar to the rest of BMW's flagship motorcycle range. Now the display can be connected with your phone, which enables features like call control, media control, and turn-by-turn navigation as well. Apart from this, you get features like ABS, active stability control, which is a sort of traction system control, and you also have access to BMW's part catalog, which allows you to spec your scooter with accessories like a luggage carrier, a small top case, a backrest, and a taller windshield as well. Alright, now is the uncomfortable time where I need to give you my conclusion on this scooter. I've spent enough time riding this all day. I've ridden it on the highways, I've ridden it on the roads, I've ridden it in the mountains. And overall, I have to say it's an amazingly well put together scooter. It does everything that it is advertised to do and then some. It handles surprisingly well. Despite its weight, it feels extremely nimble. You can flick it through city traffic. It has ton of premium kit on offer. It's built like a BMW, impeccable build quality, not a single inconsistent panel gap. But then there is that price tag, rupees 10.4 lakh ex-showroom. That is a lot of money. It is significantly more expensive than any other scooter in the market right now. It is even more expensive than some premium bikes that have a lot more power and performance. But then again, that's not the point of this scooter. India doesn't really have a maxi sport scooter market in that true sense. And here's the theory. I feel like BMW has got this here to platform set and check if there is an interest in this sort of scooter and eventually create interest for the BMW CE4 electric scooter. But then again, that's just my theory. All that aside, this makes for a great toy to have, a great daily runabout, a great scooter for someone who already has all the bikes they want in their garage. And once you do make the plunge for it, you will be extremely happy with it. It does everything you want it to. And on that note, it's time for me to say goodbye and thanks for watching.